Hello, hello. We're back.
Hi, everyone. Emily and Jamie, in case you didn't know.
Yep. In case you were confused.
I've come prepared today.
Emily has notes on her phone, y'all. Can't wait for this one.
So Grace turned 7.
Last month.
July. July. And when she turned 6, Jamie and her kids gave her a stuffed pig. We'll come back to Piggy. But where I'm going with this is what I realized is when she turned 6 and finally we hit age 7, she finally is older now for so many reasons. She's older in so many senses, and emotionally.
Is that what happens on birthdays? You get older?
Listen, don't derail me on my list. So
I just want to clarify for the people.
This is
she's older.
From age 6 to 7 is she basically has slept through the night, essentially almost every night. She stays in her bed. She goes to bed around the same time every night, and she gets up in the morning and gets herself dressed. Big shit in my house. And yes, I am talking about age 6 to 7.
Right. I want to clarify for those of you who heard that. You heard that correctly.
Heard me right.
She's finally sleeping through the night.
And she is 7 years old.
Correct.
Why am I going to tell you this story? I could feel embarrassed that I do this for a living and that I have a child that was a really difficult sleeper for the first 6 years of her life. And I've tried everything.
Literally.
But I am here to tell this story today because
you're finally on the other side of it.
Every kid is different. My second, Maddie, and Eloise, my third, are very different sleepers than Grace. And I did things per the NAPS book for them, as I did with Grace. And they're just different kids.
99.99999% of the population is a different sleeper than Grace.
Right. But even if you don't have a difficult sleeper, the point of this is when you are a parent and you're living in something like that, like a kid that isn't sleeping, or a kid that's still wearing diapers or pull-ups at night, or a kid that isn't eating with the fucking spoon and they're using their fingers, that kind of stuff, that happens when you're a parent. When you're living in it, you think it's going to be like that forever.
Or it's hard not to think that you're doing something wrong, or there might be something wrong with your kid and you're missing it, or
yeah. But the day will come where it will get better, or they will grow up, or they will change, or they will do the thing. And then you'll look back and probably be like, why was I so hard on myself?
Or my kid.
Yeah. I wish I had cut myself a break.
Yep.
Or maybe you can hear this and just embrace, I hear what you're saying, and I'm actually just going to accept that my kid is having a hard time or isn't perfect at this yet.
Yeah.
Because the day comes where they are better, and I'm here sitting here, Grace is 7, and it's that was temporary. It was quite long, but it is temporary.
It was a temporary 6 years.
It's temporary. She's going into 2nd grade. She can read. She is she gets dressed. She could walk herself to school on her own if I let her. She's just such a big kid now.
She's older.
Yeah. And the hard days are over. We'll have other days that are harder, but
that's fucking true.
When Grace was coming in my room every night looking for me or wanting to sleep on my floor, I joke, and I say this to parents all the time, they're not going to go to college still wanting to sleep in bed with you or on the floor. Yeah. I don't think, unless you're listening and you have a college kid
who's sleeping on your floor,
who still sleeps in your room, please let me know immediately.
Would you like to go through the progression for sleep?
I would.
Your
I
notes? Would you like to start from the beginning?
Let's start from the beginning.
I have no idea what you're saying.
Oh my God. People who know musicals.
Okay. Yeah. And I'll add my notes along the way.
Okay. That was the Sound of Music, just so you know. Okay. Yeah, no. First year of life, when I had Grace, I already was in a bad place. We all know. Mm-hmm. Really bad postpartum anxiety, wasn't sleeping at night. Grace had severe reflux. She cried what felt like all the time. She threw up all the time. It came out of her nose, her eyeballs, her ears.
In hindsight, she probably had an allergy.
Probably had a dairy and soy allergy, and I just didn't know. But I do just feel like I was on the phone with you and Ellen all the time and all year long about her sleep, trying to troubleshoot it, to the point where one of our friends who was a nurse would come sometimes at night to take her to help me because I was freezing. And in the morning, I vividly remember her being like, she's just a baby. She's normal. It's okay. You're just tired. And I swear to God, years later when we were out for dinner and drinks, you guys were laughing one night being like, oh yeah, she'd call you on her car ride home and be like, that kid's crazy.
Yeah, she did.
That kid's tough.
She was like, there's something wrong with her. So, when she tried, cool. It was when she tried to sleep train her at like 4 months and she just, she just Grace was like screamed for 5 hours. And she was like, it's normal. I think it's just a reflex. And she called me. She was like, that kid, there's no way she's going to be able to sleep train her, which was true. Took 6 years.
Oh my God. Grace is so caring and so compassionate and kind, but she also gives zero fucks. Like she will do things her way.
Right.
Like she has this confidence.
She does.
That is just so awesome.
She does.
But she also is like, I'm going to just do it my way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Fuck off. Okay.
Yeah.
So it gets foggy like that after that first year. I think I just like started taking Zoloft and like accepted my fate of not really sleeping much a little bit. And then I got pregnant.
Yeah. And then
I had hyperemesis. And I have videos of me sleeping on my couch. Like I couldn't stay awake because I was so sick and I was on like medication for nausea that makes you fall asleep. And Grace just like climbing on my face because she wasn't really napping either. She didn't really care to nap.
So at this stage, she was about she was about a year.
Yep,
when did you get pregnant?
A year and a half.
Yeah.
Because then I was pregnant with Maddie. Yep.
Right.
Okay. So that's like your year.
She was like, 12 to 15 months at this stage.
Yeah. Didn't really want to nap. Sometimes she would nap, but like it just was on her.
And agenda. She was still waking up multiple times at night.
Always.
Yep.
Like you go to bed at night and you'd be like, Hail Mary, maybe tonight this child will sleep.
Yeah.
Or you'd like roll the dice and be like, is she going to be up 1 time or 3 times?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then you get to a place where like 1 wake up, you're like, that's cool. I can do 1 wake up. Right. 3, tell me now.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I bring home Maddie. Grace is 21 months old.
Yep.
She's in a crib.
Yep.
I did the right thing and I bought a new crib for Maddie.
Yep.
Because I was like, I'm not playing that game. I'm keeping Grace in her crib.
Right.
Maddie's in my room in the crib / like Bajorn like lounger pillow that's since been recalled in the crib. And that's right.
That has not been recalled.
The Bajorn bouncer pillow thing.
Yeah. No.
Okay, whatever.
We'll remove that part. That has not been recalled. We're good.
Okay.
So you bought a new crib for Maddie. You did the right thing. You brought a new crib for Maddie.
I bought a new crib for Maddie.
Right.
And
Maddie was in her own sleeping space.
Second week home when I was postpartum, Grace started climbing out of her crib. She was like Houdini. She could like climb out, scale the curtains.
Yeah.
I actually found her on top of the crib, walking it. She's a gymnast now.
Walking the edge of the crib.
The edges of the crib. Like it was shocking. And then there were curtains, beautiful Pottery Barn, long gray curtains that she was swinging from on the monitor like Tarzan.
Yeah.
And then there were pictures on the wall, beautiful pictures from Etsy that I got, like a late artist in Australia. It was a beautiful little nursery nook.
Yep.
I had to take down everything.
Yeah.
I took down the pictures.
Yep.
Took down the shades.
Yep.
Had this like one shade that's still there that's broken from her still hanging on it. It's like a broken blackout shade that still comes up and down. No cords, no monitors, no sound machines allowed, like
closet
nothing in that
locked.
nook. The closet had 2 locks.
Yep.
She could get through 1 lock.
Yep.
And then I took the springs out of the mattress of the crib and put the mattress on the ground.
Yep.
That kept her in for like a couple nights. And then she became a gopher and she would lean against the wall and she would push with her feet and push the mattress and the crib against the wall. Somehow, like she could push the crib and then she would burrow under like a gopher and come on out.
Yep.
Run around.
Yep.
So then I had a mental breakdown.
Yeah.
Like a total mental breakdown.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah. And
mind you, at this point, she was also, correct me if I'm wrong, this was also the time she would get out of the crib in the middle of the night and she was awake. This all happened in the same period of time.
Week, basically.
She was awake from like 2 to 4 a.m. Like wide awake, just playing in a room.
So it became like not just crib climbing. She was climbing out of her crib and running around because she was bored because she was awake in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So before I realized that, I drove to Pottery Barn Kids in Natick like a crazy person postpartum to buy like the rail that goes on the crib for Pottery Barn to make it a toddler bed. And then they like, had 1 left in stock. Mm-hmm. And I remember talking to this lady in Natick being like, my baby is crying out of her crib. Like, I need that rail. I'm coming to get it. Like, and it was like one of those postpartum moments where you drive to the Natick Mall in the middle of the day on no sleep to buy a rail. To which Grace really didn't care about her bed, and I ended up putting a giant mattress on the floor.
Yeah. So can I give the people a visual?
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
So she tried the toddler bed. That didn't work. Grace was getting out of the bed in the middle of the night, playing.
Yeah.
I think playing in the room in the middle of the night. And so it was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Like, I can't put her in a crib. She's not staying in her bed. She's literally up in the middle of the night playing. Like, how do I keep her safe? Like, it got to a point where it was like, how do I keep her safe at night? So there's this little nook. I'll call it 4x4.
It's small.
Yeah. Maybe a 4x4.
It's great.
Nook in Grace's bedroom that basically like was just being used as like a little nursery nook, or could have been like a little play space, right?
Yeah.
And so in that nook, now this is where the curtains were, the pictures were,
closet.
Everything got taken down. So it was literally 4 bare walls, 3 bare walls because there was the opening.
A
locked window with the shade, and then Emily ended up just putting a like queen size or full size mattress on the floor in this nook.
Yep.
And then had Tom, if you don't know who Tom Connolly is, it's the guy from Safe Solutions New England who comes to your house and baby proofs your house, had him come and put up a gate in this little doorway of the nook.
Correct.
To safely keep her in the nook at night.
Thus began baby jail.
It was baby jail.
Everyone who comes to my house, we would call it baby jail.
Yeah.
And Tom was great because he put on a special gate that's a little bit higher than usual.
Yeah.
Because she could scale gates too.
Yeah.
So it's like a little bit higher than usual.
Yep.
And he like fits it to the actual like doorway or wall that you have. Like you can adjust it.
Yep.
And it had a really like snazzy latch that like not just anyone, even like adults struggle to get in and out of it. And then he went into the room because when you leave baby jail, now you're in the bedroom. And he mounted the dresser to the wall.
Yeah.
The
bookshelf.
He took all the electrical outlets and put on the ones that you have to physically like slide. To plug in. And he literally just looked at the room and was like, get rid of that, get rid of this, put that away.
Yeah.
That's fine. And he just knew like what could be out so that if she was out in the middle of the night or at a nap or whatever, she was safe.
Yeah.
But we really just kept her locked on in baby jail.
Yeah. So Grace is in baby jail.
Baby jail.
At 22, 23 months old.
Yeah.
Maddie is.
But she still doesn't give a fuck about sleeping.
No,
baby
Maddie
doesn't make her sleep.
No, it just keeps her safe in the middle of the night when she wants to play.
Yeah, let's just be clear about that.
Yeah. She's not sleeping.
So she's awake now though in the middle of the night.
And you have a 2-3-month-old at home.
Barely.
Yeah, not even.
Maddie was like 6 to 8 weeks old.
Yeah, right.
Shit went down.
2 months. Just
okay.
To be clear. Okay. Yeah. Continue.
It's getting really granular here.
Yeah.
And so now I've called Ellen, just Ellen, who works for us. She's our she was my pediatrician at the time. She works for us. She's our sleep consultant and pediatric MD.
Even the pediatrician was like, just lock her in the room.
Oh yeah. They told me to like lock the door, but I was like, but here's where I just knew something wasn't right. Like she wasn't defying me. She wasn't tired. No. She was wide awake.
Right. She was less than 2 and wide awake for 2 hours in the middle of the night.
Yeah. And it didn't matter what I did. She wasn't tired. Like,
right.
So I went, so Ellen had me go to Children's Hospital in Boston. They have a sleep clinic.
Yep.
I saw an NP there who was like not surprised by my story at all.
Yep.
And she basically explained that like sometimes kids at this age get a gap in their sleep cycle. And it happens at that time of night, like when the melatonin levels are starting to go down. And she was like explaining back in the day, like the sun rising and setting, and too much. I don't know. Right. It went really
But
deep.
she explained herself.
Like, she explained herself very well at the time. And I was like, okay. And she was like, told me, stop negotiating with her, stop fighting with her, stop trying to get her to go back to sleep. She's awake. She has to ride the wave. And then when she comes back down again, she'll fall back asleep. But in the meantime, to break the gap, she gave me this chart.
She put you on a wicked strict schedule.
So strict.
Yeah.
With the newborn.
Which, if you know Emily and you just listened to our podcast on traveling with kids, you know Emily doesn't do well with a strict schedule.
I don't follow any schedules.
Anything.
Yeah. By the way, we were supposed to film this podcast last week, and I moved it from Jamie's schedule and just put it on your schedule today. I'm just always flying by the seat of my pants.
And that didn't bother me at all.
Okay. So I don't know. I could have a little bit of a schedule, but I'm trying. Okay. I'm not trying. So I got this chart and she was like, you got to get her up every day at
6 a.m.
on the button, and I was like, what? Like, you know me. At that point, I was like,
Emily's kid couldn't survive on a 6 a.m.
non-functional before 7 a.m. at best. And so I'm like 6 a.m. And then, because Maddie sleeps.
I know.
Maddie, my second, she sleeps. She was a newborn.
You had night nurse coming. You had night nurses coming to help you with Maddie so that you could deal with Grace in the middle of the night.
I did. I had 2 night nurses from NAPS come 2 or 3 nights a week. They would take Maddie. Maddie would get up once overnight to eat and go right back to sleep. And I never got to enjoy that.
No.
She is my spirit animal, by the way, for sleep now. Like she loves sleeping just like me.
Tangent, move on.
I know. So got this chart. She got to wake her up at 6 a.m. She's allowed the nap, but only from 1 to 2.
I think it was 12:30 to.
Do you remember?
Yeah, 12:30 to 2.
It was a really.
She could have an hour and a half nap.
Yeah.
No more than an hour and a half, and you had to put her down at 12:30.
And if she wasn't asleep, she didn't get to have it. Like,
and
she
you had to
fall asleep later in the day.
And she couldn't fall asleep earlier in the day.
Yeah, you had to keep her awake.
Yes.
This is where it gets funny.
Yeah.
So she's like, that is the only
and
window
her
that
bed,
she's allowed to nap.
And you had bed, and her bedtime was
9 p.m. bedtime. Can you guys imagine a 6 a.m. wake up, one nap between 12:30?
She was 23 months old, 22 months old,
and a 9 p.m. bedtime.
With an
dead ass serious.
With an 8-week-old.
And the goal is,
and you had to get rid of the pacifier.
Yeah, had to get rid of the pacifier, which at that point I was like, oh,
don't
whatever,
even. Yeah, it's the least of my problem.
And yeah, Maddie was a newborn. I'm postpartum, mind you. My husband's working full time. I don't have a nanny or childcare. I'm just home with these kids all day long.
Yep.
I don't even know how I lived this life. So but then the point of this, just for you guys listening, was over 1 to 2 months time, you change your chart. So like you can slowly lower bedtime, and you can slowly change the wake up, and you can slowly shift the nap, but it has to be really, really slow.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't it like, it's like to reset like their circadian rhythm kind of, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know, guys, like, she'd get up, I'd wake her up at 6. I'm shaking, dragging her down,
shaking her awake.
Shaking her like, come on, Grace, get up.
Yeah.
This kid's falling asleep. Then I'll finally get her up. And then we'll be out like walking to music class. We used to like walk to music class, and she'd start to fall asleep on the walk home, and I have to take her out of the stroller and make her walk home.
Yep.
I have a picture of her sitting on the steps in my house because she wants to go up for a nap, but it's like 11 a.m. and it's not the window.
Yep.
And she's sitting on the steps like asleep. She's asleep sitting up.
Yeah.
The worst was we went to Market Basket.
Yeah.
I was like, I would go out, I would put her in the car. I knew I was going to make you cry laugh. I
forgot about this. Oh, we need to follow this episode up with pictures, because
I have to put
pictures will speak 1,000 words.
Her awake. I would go do this because I was like, I didn't know what else to do. Like, and so one morning I left Maddie with somebody, and I went to Market Basket.
Yeah.
And I got there, and she was so tired on the car there. I'm like, the windows are down, air conditioning's on, music is loud, Grace, like rattling noises to keep her awake on the car ride. And I got to Market Basket. I put her in the car, and as I was wheeling into Market Basket, she fell asleep, sitting upright in the car. And she was so tired. She looked dead, and people were literally looking at me in Market Basket like it was scary.
Yes.
It wasn't, because she was fully sitting upright, asleep. That's how tired she was, this poor child.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yep. I forgot about that. That was a good one.
Oh my God.
So then you do the schedule for, I mean, I will give you credit. You actually, no, it wasn't years. But you did actually like try and stick to the schedule for like a solid few months.
Yeah.
Like you did. You really did. And it did get better for a period of time.
I do feel
like she was going to bed at like 9, 10 o'clock and sleeping until like 6, 7 at some point.
Yep. She dropped her nap early.
She stopped napping.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Fine.
Right.
And then it became that like we went through stints, I would say, through age like 2 to 6, really. Where like we would get in places where sleep would feel okay for like a few months, and then it like wouldn't be okay for a few months, and then it would, and then I would get in my head like, why is it okay sometimes? Why is it not okay other times?
Right.
Is it because of the moon is full? Is it because I put pink sheets on the bed instead of purple? Like you know, you get like crazy. Like, is it because of whatever?
Yep.
And it just didn't matter. There was never a rhyme or reason She just was like a wave going up and down all the time.
Also, at this point, essentially, Grace and Maddie are sharing a room. They started sharing a room pretty early on.
Yeah, I did put them in a room to try to also.
Maddie was in the crib outside of baby jail, and Grace was still in baby jail.
Grace was in baby jail.
How long was Grace in baby jail until? Do you remember?
Oh my gosh,
a really long time.
Like she was like 5 years old.
Yeah, I think so too.
Don't you think?
Maybe a little less than that, but yeah.
4 years old. So I did end up putting her back in the Pottery Barn crib that was a toddler bed.
Yeah.
And in baby jail.
In baby jail, yeah.
And Maddie was out of baby jail. You know what's so
in a crib.
I know. Sorry, this podcast is so long, you guys. But one time my cousin slept over and she was sleeping on the guest bed because outside of baby jail, it's a lovely place to be. There was a guest bed at the time. There was a crib. There's some toys. There's a dresser. It's a pretty little nursery. And then boom, baby jail. Nothing.
This is all in the same room.
My cousin's in the room asleep and they don't know she's in there. They can't see her. Maddie's in her crib. Grace is in baby jail. And my cousin hears Grace at the gate going, hey, Maddie, come on, let me out of here. Let me out of here. Like Maddie's gonna get out of her crib and come get her. Anyway.
And Maddie's a great sleeper.
Maddie's a great sleeper.
Yeah. Always
she sleeps through Grace too. Ignore Grace.
Yeah.
Just ignore. So anyway, we had a lot of highs and lows, and then we got to a place where I eventually bought Grace and Maddie bunk beds.
Yep.
And everything has a motive when it comes to buying things around sleep in my house. And my big thing was like, you're a big girl now. You're going in the bunk beds. Maddie's getting a bunk bed. It was when Maddie was ready for a bed. And I just really like sold her on this bed and that like they're together. And me and my sister had bunk beds growing up. And, you know, you try anything to get them to stay in their bed all night. I put the dog, I used to take the dog bed and will you stay in your bed if the dog's in here? The dog does not like coming upstairs, let alone going in their room. I had the dog bed in there, like anything like for them. I
mean, the things that you tried were inclusive of putting the dog in the room.
Yep.
Sticker or reward charts. Remember, you were like, if you stay in your bed for the whole week, you can put the sticker on the chart and then I'll get a prize at the end of the day. You try giving her a prize every day.
Oh, anything.
You had the button that Dr. Becky recommends.
I did. I got desperate at times. I've taken so many courses on sleep. So please, people tend to book calls with me now about toddler sleep because they know like some of this stuff.
Done everything.
There's a button that you can record your voice. That's like, you are safe. Mommy is near. You're in your bed, blah, blah, blah. And so when you wake up at night, the child is supposed to hit the button, hopefully like a couple times to realize that they're safe in their bed before they come and get you.
Yep. The issue at this point, when she was in the bunk beds, out of baby jail and in the bunk beds, was she was waking up in the middle of the night and coming into your room.
So like we got to a place
and she would come and get you. Why?
Well, she will, by the way,
varying reasons.
Up until age, still really now, like I have to be near for Grace to fall asleep.
No, I know.
Right? Like I have to be pretty close by to in the room or near the room. And she knows I'm present. But leading up to this, I could get her to go to sleep pretty easily as long as I sat in the room. Right. Chair method.
Right.
Sit in the chair. She goes to sleep. Then I leave. But the problem then became that she came looking for me in the middle of the night.
Yep.
It was somewhat after I had traveled at that point. So I connected it to traveling, but it really like doesn't matter. Like this has been going on now for so long. Forever. It has nothing to do with travel. She'll get up in the middle of the night, come into my room looking for me. And she doesn't want to get in my bed necessarily. Like she will, if I put her in, she wants me to bring her back to her bed. And she wants me to like get in her bed or sit near her bed. Like she just wants me in her room, basically. So then I did the route of like,
you guys did the chair,
so many things. Like I did the chair method for so long, which I would walk her back, sit in the chair, walk her back, sit in the chair.
You and AJ would alternate nights. Yeah.
My husband and I would go every other night, fair and square. We got tired, we got beaten down after a while. And like, sometimes I would just get in bed with her and sleep. Yep. Sometimes I would put her in my bed. Then at one point I was like, look, Grace, you can come in my room in the middle of the night. I'm okay with it. I see you're looking for me. No problem. Come on in. There's a sleeping bag on the floor next to my bed. Just get in that.
Yep. You're just don't get in my bed. Don't wake me up.
We both said, like, you can come in. Just please don't wake up mommy and daddy. Yep. That's all.
Yep.
But then she didn't, that wasn't good enough. She didn't want the sleeping bag. She'd be reaching up her arm.
Yeah. She wanted to touch you.
Me. So then tell them what I did next.
With the mattress?
Yeah.
So then, where did this mattress come from?
Amazon.
Oh, you ordered this.
Yeah, you can get anything on Amazon.
I thought that somebody had this, like a cousin or your dad or something. Anyway, she basically got this like bed frame / like the best way to describe it is like a MASH, like camping style bed, but that she put it like a mattress on top of. Like, yeah. And that so that this twin extra long mattress was directly next to her queen size bed on her side of the bed. Yeah. So it was up the same level as Emily, but but Grace wasn't in bed with her and AJ.
I don't let her in my bed. Yeah. The firm boundary with AJ and I became that like she could not get in our bed. So they just like we had to hold one. So they just
made an extension to their bed. So basically their bedroom looked like
so bad.
Just a giant bed. You walked in, there was a queen size. Yeah, they got rid of the nightstands because on AJ's side of the bed was the dog bed where Maisie slept. Then the queen size bed in the middle, and then this like twin extra long on a fucking platform on the other side of the bed. No nightstands, no lights. Like your bedroom turned into baby jail,
and it never really recovered.
And then Grace
got rid of these things. I never put the nightstands back.
And then Grace now like labeled this bed as hers because it was, and she put pictures on the wall above her bed of like portraits of herself or her family that are actually horrifying, which I think should be part of this photo montage. Yeah.
Yep.
That did not last long.
No, I mean, like it worked for a little bit, but then it got annoying having her in our room. And we had held the line at that point that she couldn't come in our bed. And then we were like, we really just have to try again to get back to the room.
Yeah.
And I knew that like the chair method had worked for us. I think like when people do sleep training in general, they always think it's a one and done. And it's just not for some kids. Like you sleep train them, you do a method, it works really well. And then maybe 6 months or a year later, they get sick or you travel or something changes and they're back at it again. You just do it again.
Yep.
So at that point I was like, I know the chair method works. I had taken more courses. I was like, it's just hard to be consistent when we're talking about months of something and you're just tired, right? Maddie was a little bit older though. So we went at it again and we got really firm with the chair method, got her out of her room, got her back in bed and got to a place where we really just would go every other night, sitting on the chair, not getting in bed with her. I should be very clear with people. I was in bed with her and then I got myself to the edge of her bed, holding her hand for a long time.
Yeah.
Then I got to a place where I told her like, I'm going to sit here, but we're not going to hold hands anymore.
Yep.
Like it was gradual.
Yeah.
Then it was like, I'm going to still sit here, but I'm going to sit down there now on the chair.
Yeah.
And now I'll be like, Grace, I'm going to go throw a load of laundry in and like check on Maisie and I'll come back and check on you. Like it was very gradual.
Yeah.
And she just would get out. If she got out of bed, would just walk her back. And for whatever reason, I don't know. Some nights she would stay in bed all night. Some nights she would come looking for me. It just didn't matter. I never knew what I was gonna get into that night.
And then we gave her Piggy.
Let's reference the list. The final thing on the list is Piggy.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but on the 6th birthday, Jamie and her girls came over.
Mind you, this is just a random fucking stuffed animal that our kids picked out at like the local.
And her kids picked out Piggy. Piggy is like, what is that brand?
Jellycat.
Jellycat. Yeah. I love Jellycat, everyone. It's like the coziest, cutest little stuffies. So soft. They brought her a Jellycat animal and it's Piggy. And there was something about this pig. It's the texture, like when she touches it and rubs it and she puts it on her cheek. She just really took to it.
Yeah.
And you gave her Piggy and I don't know, like a month went by, she didn't get out of bed.
Yeah.
And she kept referencing Piggy. And then when we would travel or go places, she had to have Piggy.
Yeah.
And Piggy became like a thing. Like she never had a binky. She never had a lovey or a blankie. Like she never had an object that I tried, by the way, to get her fixated on objects. Because that was obviously another motive to keep her in her bed. She never took to anything.
Yeah.
Took to Piggy.
Yeah.
And then time just kept going by.
Yeah.
Girlfriend stayed in her bed.
Yeah.
And I attributed to Piggy.
Yeah. I don't know if that's true. Maybe
I know.
Just then that she turned 6. But yeah. Yeah.
So, and now she's 7.
Yeah.
She sleeps with Piggy.
Yep.
Every night. I ordered a second pig. And we have a backup pig just because, you know,
can't fuck with that.
Can't mess around. Gotta have a backup pig.
Yeah.
And she doesn't really come out of bed now. So she gets out of bed to pee sometimes at night, but walks herself right back.
Yeah.
And I always wait for her to look at me and ask me to walk her back. And she'll look at me and sometimes I can tell she wants to be like, Mom, will you bring me back? And she doesn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of sad.
Oh my God.
I miss her.
You better be fucking
Just
kidding. You better be kidding. That is a really long-winded way of telling everyone, one, you're not fucking up your kids.
No.
Grace is a fucking awesome kid.
She's the shit.
She does have an unmatched level of confidence.
Yeah.
Yep. Her most recent talent show performance is just really highlights all of that. Her gymnastics routine.
Yep.
Which I love you, Grace, but you're not very good at.
Yes. But she got up there and she did those cartwheels.
Sure shit did.
She did those cartwheels.
She was confident as shit, and I love her for it.
Audience.
She is kind. She is compassionate. She is empathetic. She is a great fucking kid.
She's okay.
And yeah, she's okay. And not getting that sleep didn't fuck her up for life.
Nope. No.
She's
does good in school.
Yep.
Yeah. She's smart.
Yeah.
She'll do it.
Yep.
She just has to do things
her own way.
Not just her own way in her own time.
Yeah.
So just remember that about your kids.
Yeah.
They will get there.
Yep.
It's just your job to love and support them along the way.
Yeah. And try not to lose your shit.
Try. But
you're going to.
You will.
And when you do lose your shit, just,
when you find yourself laying on a mattress in your room or holding your child's hand in their top bunk and you're way too big to be up there, you will think of me and not feel like a big loser. It's going to be okay.
Like a failure.
Like a failure.
It's all good.
Who am I laying in this bed?
It is all only temporary.
It's temporary.
Just might be 6 years.
And I am
living
7
proof.
years in, living proof.
Yeah.
A quick 7 years later, here to tell you it gets better.
All right. That's all we got for you guys today.
That's plenty.
Hope you enjoyed this one. Let us know if you can relate to Emily's story.
Treat. We've got to send pictures.
Well, yes.
Instagram.
We will.
Yes. I'll do a little story for you.
When this episode launches, we'll have pictures to go along with it. So go over to Instagram to check out the montage. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.